From farms to fruit bowls, it's harvest time. British growers are expected to handpick 1.5 billion apples this year. But it's not all rosy red, and there are two problems. One has become all too familiar in recent weeks, the lack of HGV drivers hampering supply chains. And two, there are not enough seasonal agricultural workers in the country. These labour shortages are in some farms set to leave crops unpicked and rotting. In a fresh push, industry body British Apples and Pears is urging the government to make the seasonal workers scheme permanent to prevent waste. This scheme was expanded this year from 10,000 to 30,000 visas. It's estimated the number of workers that are needed on UK farms is around 80,000. Many EU labourers went home during the pandemic and have stayed there. The government says the UK has a highly resilient food chain which has coped well. But in Boxford Farm in Suffolk, Robert Rendell says labour is currently a concern.
Next year, as those EU settled scheme workers dry up further and disappear and go into other sectors in the UK or abroad, then it's really only about a third of what we need. Without them, we don't harvest the crops, and you know, a lot of businesses will be in a lot of trouble. Typically, you know, businesses might, if they're lucky, be making 5%, maybe between 2 and 5% profit in a good year. And yeah, if you leave, you know, 10, 20, 30% on the trees because you can't pick it, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to work out businesses will go bust. It will stay on the trees and rot, and you know, it'd be really a disaster.
But what about British workers? It's a nuanced argument, with many rural areas like Suffolk with low unemployment. And if you're unemployed in a city, do you want to relocate to the country for harvest? The government says it wants to see employers make long-term investments in the UK domestic workforce instead of relying on labour from abroad. Elsewhere, HGV driver shortages are still hitting the headlines. Transport prices for farming have tripled, and it's the latest sector to feel the squeeze.
It's proving very difficult to get transport into supermarket depots, and so that sort of just reduction of HGV traffic is really hurting us. I mean, the effect on us is that we're having to beg and borrow with competitors and friends just to try and get pallets to near a depot to get the final stretch to our supermarket customers. We've had to walk away from a couple of our customers this year that we weren't able to get a lorry to their depots. If it doesn't get to the stores, we obviously don't get an income and can't pay the bills.
Supply chain shortages could push some farms to a standstill in the future, leaving apples on farm floors and not in fruit bowls. Amelia Harper, GB News, Suffolk.
Welcome to the GB News YouTube channel. You can watch us live 24 hours a day, catch up on your favourite shows and join in the conversation in the comments below.
Don't forget to subscribe and you'll never miss any of our exclusive content.